Pocketing is a relatively new dating term. And if you're in the dating world, you've probably heard it. It's when someone dates you, but rather than showing you off, they kind of hide you or seclude you. It's analogous to their phone. They put it in their pocket. They're putting you in their pocket. You're with them, but are you really with them? It usually happens when you're newly dating. Although I've seen it in relationships that have been going on for a while, and then it begins happening. And that's probably more indicative of the person is doing something with maybe an emotional affair or cheating or something's happening that would bring them to psychotherapy. When you're newly dating them, it's more common for these types of trends or patterns to show up. Now, saying it's more common, I want to alert you that you don't want to jump on them. If you start seeing these things, you don't want to make assumptions or say, oh, I'm being pocketed or whatever. It's much better to get a few of these signs and then do what I tell you at the end. I'm going to give you 3 tips that you can really take to heart. But first of all, let's go through some possible signs and symptoms. The first one would be that they don't really want you around other people. So they basically, when they do something with you, it's only with you and you're excluded. You're excluded from their social friends. They don't really want you involved in their personal life. And secondly, they'll make excuses. It's almost like they know this is odd, so they'll make excuses. And if it happens once in a while, you probably won't even be alerted. But if it's happening frequently, this is a sign that, okay, this person is probably either sidelining you or pocketing you. You meet at really out of town, deserted, or more discreet places. In other words, this person doesn't want you to know where they like to go, their favorite hangouts. They're not really trying to get close to you on a personal or emotional level. They don't want to talk about their likes or dislikes with you in a personal way. And I think a therapist would see that, but if you're dating someone, you're just taking this in. You might not see that as a bad sign. You may even think of it as romantic. Oh, we go to all these out-of-town places. They're very discreet. They're very romantic. And I get that. But at the same time, be aware of it because it could mean something. Sometimes you don't know any of their friends or family. They haven't shared you with anyone. If you ask, once again, they're making excuses. And if you happen to run into someone that they know, they don't even introduce you. First of all, they're trying not to introduce you, but if it's obvious, they'll say, well, this is my friend or this is my pal. There is never any sign of romance or affection in front of other people. Now with this too, you could say, well, maybe they're just very shy or maybe they don't like public displays of affection. But it should become obvious if you grab their hand and they pull it back. Because things like this, or if you go to touch them, they pull back. Most of the time, if someone is really into you, they won't do that. And I think another sign would be that if you tag them in a photo or you send them photos and they don't post it on social media and it disappears, that's pretty weird. I won't necessarily say that's a sign of pocketing, but most of the time when you're dating someone, especially when it's a new relationship, you want to post pictures. And if you're seeing that they're taking you out of a photo maybe, and then they're posting it, or they're not posting anything about something the two of you did, I think I would be very aware of that. And lastly, if you've been dating this person for a month or more, and their parents or friends and family don't know your name or don't know about you, I think that's a big red flag because they should. In a healthy relationship, your partner, your date should be telling those closest to them about someone special they met. And they should be giving them information a little bit, at least your name. So what should you do? The first and most important thing is you need to sit down and communicate with them. You need to tell them some behaviors you've observed and how it makes you feel. It makes me feel left out, makes me feel rejected, makes me feel like you really don't care about me, or I'm more caring of you than you are to me because I'm uncomfortable with this. I think that's a first sign. The second one is listen to them, because sometimes people who have been raised in abusive homes, chaotic homes, or if they went through a terrible breakup and their heart was broken with someone they trusted, they're not going to trust again for a long time. And if you're one of the first people they got close to since this breakup, then you can expect them to be a little bit more distant, maybe push you back a little bit because they're scared. Lastly, remember, respect for another begins with self-respect. Don't become a doormat. Don't go along with this. It's odd. You deserve better. If someone cares about you, someone wants to date you, then they make you a priority. Then they talk about you, they share with you their personal life, and they're open about how they feel about you. Anybody who is pocketing you away, sidelining, telling you one thing but showing the world another is not going to be a healthy person for a healthy, committed relationship. And I guess it's up to you. What are you really looking for? Are you looking for something more superficial, or are you looking for a really strong, good relationship that you can build a strong foundation from? If that's what you're looking for, then issues like a pocketer are not going to work. The sooner you deal with it, the sooner you communicate with it, the better off you're both going to be.